So our witness for today is Lieutenant General Senona. He is in attendance, but I believe that his counsel wishes to address the commission before we begin. May I ask that she be granted permission?
I'd like to, please.
Yes, Ms. Mapisa.
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, firstly, we'd like to state that the court order that was handed down, not the court order, but the Commission's order that was handed down on the 26th of November last year, stated that we are to appear on the 27th of January. It seems as if the Commission might require more time with Major General Senona. However, we were only informed today that more time would be required with Major General Senona. On Sunday, in passing, it was mentioned by the Commissioner's attorneys that Major General Senona would need to be here on the 27th and on the 28th. However, on the 26th, I must mention that I'm led in this matter. So on the 26th of November, the last appearance, my senior and one of the evidence leaders decided that it would be best if we hold today's hearing on the 27th of January. But that was the only date that was agreed upon. We did not agree upon the 28th of January. Unfortunately, Major General Senona has only made arrangements with his employer to be here for the 27th of January. If he is to continue, or rather if his testimony is to continue for the 28th of January, he would require special leave. And I'm not sure if he'd be able to do so on such short notice. He also needs to travel back after giving his testimony. So there are many things at play here, Commissioners, and I do not see how Major General Senona will be able to continue with his testimony on the 28th.
Yes, Ms. Hassan.
Sorry, Chair, may I respond to the request? Just to say two things. The ruling of this commission in November was for the Major General to appear on the 27th of January. Section 6.1 of the Commissions Act makes it a requirement that a witness that is summoned to appear attends on the date of appearance and remains in attendance until excused by the chairperson. There is no requirement to alert a witness as to how long he or she may be on a stand. In fact, the Commissions Act makes it an offence to not remain in attendance without sufficient cause. The reasons that I hear my learned friend offering for not being able to be in attendance tomorrow, in my view, and I submit, do not count as sufficient cause. One of the Major General's duties is to testify before this commission. That is what he's here to do, and to do so fully and frankly, and to do so in order to assist the work of the commission. And so I oppose the request that the Major General is excused after one day.
Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Do you wish to respond to that, Ms. Mapisa?
Yes, I do, Commissioners.
Yes.
Commissioners, I do think it's only fair from the Commission side. I do understand the subpoena states that the Major General is expected to be present to give his testimony from the 27th until the testimony is complete. But I do think it's only fair that the Commission actually give some sort of an indication as to how many days they foresee the testimony taking. Major General Senona was present on the 26th of November. He is present today. So he has met the subpoena. He satisfied the subpoena. His presence is here. I do not see the risk or the danger to merely cut his testimony into two parts. We have seen with many other witnesses where the testimony is cut into two parts. And we can confirm that Major General Senona is more than willing to come back to the commission to continue with his testimony. I do think the aspect of him receiving an extension of his leave should also be considered by the commissioners, because if he were to continue on the 28th of January, we would be placing Major General Senona in a position of being derelict of his duties.
What's crucial in what you said, Ms. Mafisa, is that you are aware that the general is supposed to be here today and beyond for as long as is required to be here to continue with his testimony. That's very important. The general is obviously also aware of that. It was his choice to make leave arrangements just for one day. He could, and I've not heard you suggest otherwise, he could have made those arrangements to go beyond today. Why he chose to do it differently, I have no idea, and you have not explained to us why that is so. I will not be doing a back and forth. I'm now at the stage where we as this commission must make a ruling, and our ruling is going to be in accordance with what the Commissions Act provides, and also in accordance with our direction for the general's appearance. And he's required to be here until his testimony has been completed. What he does with his leave arrangements is his business, and he will have to attend to that. So the ruling is, General, you are required to be here today and tomorrow. And if tomorrow, for whatever reason, we reach a point at which we must continue beyond tomorrow, you are required to be here beyond tomorrow as well. Do you understand that?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning. I was still going to greet you properly, and I normally greet witnesses just before I administer the oath. Things started differently today, so I apologize for that. Good morning to you too. Thank you. You do understand, you say?
I do understand, Commissioner.
Thank you very much, General. Thank you, Ms. Mafisa.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. If we could then proceed to administer the oath.
General, will you be swearing or affirming?
I'll be swearing, Commissioners.
Do you swear that the evidence you're going to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Major General. You've provided a statement to the Commission together with annexures to support your statement. Can I just confirm that in file 1, that you have file 1 in front of you, that's marked statement?
Correct, Commissioners.
And can you turn to the last page of the statement? In fact, page 33 to be precise. Is that your signature?
Correct, Commissioners.
And you confirm that the contents of the statement are true and correct?
Correct, Commissioners.
And file 2 is the annexures that you've provided, is that correct?
Correct, Commissioners.
And can I just confirm that you have a certain additional files in front of you? There should be 3 exhibit files. Do you have 3 exhibit files?
I do have 3 exhibit files that I just received, Commissioners. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair, I propose that I allow Major General Senona to provide his version as he has, his oral version based on his written statement in full, with minimal interruption from me. Of course, there will be questions for clarification and so on as you provide your version from myself and from the commissioners. But Major General, I'd like to give you an opportunity to give us your full version before questioning begins. Thank you. You may begin with your statement.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. My statement on the first page, it will talk to the contents of my statement. There will be an introduction. The second one, it will be matters to be addressed. The third one, qualifications and service history. Functions of the DPCI is an abbreviation in full, is Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations. Role as a provincial head, as well as successes that we decided to depict for the purpose of this commission. You see number 7 is the role as the provincial head of DPCI KZN, as well as those successes, the subpoena, preliminary submissions, question 1 on the subpoena infiltration, question 2, nature of relationship with Mr. Matlala, question 3, forwarding of disbarment letter, question 4, business relationship with Mr. Matlala, question 5, Medicare tender / contract, question 6, message of 6 March 2025, in brackets I put Lieutenant General Mkwanazi. Question 7, forward of Ishmael Molino Ramos Nangi's affidavit. Question 8, 24 April 2024, screenshot to Mr. Matlala. Number 9, question 9 is contact details of the former Minister Peggy Cele. And number 10 is Port Shepstone cocaine theft. The last one, it will be the conclusion, Commissioners.
Thank you, Major General. So if you could begin then at paragraph 6 of your statement.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. I began my years within the South African Police Services on the 18th of March 1988. I hold the following qualifications: a certificate in criminal justice education from the University of Virginia in the United States of America, a certificate on FBI National Academic Course of Instruction, a national diploma in police administration from Technicon SA, a BTech honors in policing from Pretoria Technicon, a doctorate of philosophy in leadership honoris causa from Trinity International Bible University, as well as a doctorate in theology honoris causa from the Good Shepherd College of Religion.
Major General, just before you move on, just to clarify, the 2 doctorates, are those, you list them as qualifications, are those doctorates for which you defended, or are those honorary doctorates that were conferred on you?
I've just indicated, Commissioners, honoris causa. Thank you, Commissioners. Can I proceed?
Well, I suppose not everybody knows what honoris causa is. That's why the question, General, would be helpful.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
So they are honorary.
It's an honorary doctorate.
Honorary. So it's an honor that was conferred, not a doctorate for which
Absolutely.
you studied. Yes.
Perhaps for the future, if you have them listed like this, even in your CV, please do not list them under qualifications. List them separately.
I've taken note, Commissioner.
Thank you.
My service history in the South African Police Services. I joined in March 1988. I was placed in the Vera Brecht SAPS, where I was a student, as a student there. And then in the month of June, we were deployed at the college in Hammanskraal until December, where I attended my basic training and I completed it in December. After completion, I was placed back at SAPS Vierebrecht. In January 1999, I was placed as a student constable detective at the same police station where I was responsible for investigations of crime. 1990, I was promoted to the rank of Lance Sergeant after I wrote the necessary, it is called examinations in order for one to be placed in that rank. So in 1992, I was promoted to the rank of a detective sergeant after I've completed my first year of study at the university, at the Technicon SA, at Technicon SA.
What's the difference between a lance sergeant and a sergeant?
The difference, commissioners, is that a lance sergeant is a junior to the sergeant. Even the rank insignia are different. The lance sergeant has got chevrons, and the sergeant has got chevrons and a castle.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. In 1994, I was promoted to the rank of a warrant officer. My duties from 1994 that I've performed as a detective investigator and team leader, I was placed at an area commissioner's office by then in Pretoria. My responsibilities was to track wanted suspects in the region. From 1998 to 2002, I was placed at the murder and robbery unit. At that time, our responsibilities there was the investigations of bank robberies. I think I've omitted something here, chain store robberies, as well as murders that were committed with a firearm, where at the time of reporting, the perpetrators of those crimes were unknown. In 2002, I was promoted to the rank of a captain, and I was placed also at the area commissioner's office as a task team coordinator. I coordinated the task team for housebreaking and theft of computers and wanted suspects. There were 3 task teams that we coordinated. From 2003 to 2007, I was the head of detectives. But I want to say 2003 to 2005, I was at the Valeria Detective Services, SAPS Valeria, here in Pretoria. And then from 2005 until 2007, I was head of detectives at the Silverton Police Station. 2007 to 2009, I was appointed as the program manager at the rank of a senior special investigator, Gauteng Region, Directorate of Special Operations, commonly known as the Scorpion. In 2010 to 2012, I was appointed as a colonel, as the unit commander of serious organized crime investigations in Pretoria, responsible for investigations of that nature in that region. 2012 to 2014, I think around February, I was appointed as the acting provincial commander. The rank required a brigadier, but I was a colonel, serious organized crime in DPCI Gauteng, because the incumbent at that time was deployed elsewhere to assist with the managerial responsibilities. In 2014 to 2017, I was sent back to my unit in Pretoria Serious Organized Crime, which falls under the DPCI. Even the one I was acting falls under the DPCI. In 2018 until 2020, I was appointed or placed as a section head, project-driven investigations, organized crime at head office at the level of a brigadier. I beg your pardon, commissioners, I jumped this one, 2017 to 2018. I got promoted, I was appointed as a brigadier, provincial head, SAPS Organized Crime Investigation, Detective Services in the Mpumalanga province. And then in 2018 to 2020, that's where I was transferred by the management to head office as a section head project-driven investigations, where I was responsible to reinvent the OCTA process, or that organized crime threats analysis, and I was responsible to also reinvent the POCS, Provincial Organized Crime Secretariat, as well as the NOCS, National Organized Crime Secretariat, where we were dealing with the covert operations. So the crime intelligence will present some threats, and then when they present these threats, we will evaluate and then present before the National Organized Crime Secretariat for approval, monitoring, extensions, as well as terminations of those projects. I was traveling all over the country reinventing this, because after the establishment of the DPCI, these responsibilities went to DPCI, but now later the management decided to open up again the organized crime and commercial crime within the greater service, SAPS. And in 2020, commissioners, I was appointed to the rank of a Major General at the DPCI KwaZulu-Natal. I have attached my full CV as per Annexure S1 on my bundle of annexures. Commissioners.
And that's the position you still hold?
That is the position I'm still holding, commissioners.
Just clarify for me in terms of the hierarchy, if you are a provincial head of DPCI, who do you report to? Who's your media supervisor?
Thank you, commissioners. In terms of the provision of Chapter 6A, 17, Section 17, Chapter 6A, Section 17 of the Police Act, the provincial head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigations reports directly to the national head of the DPCI.
So you don't report to the National Commissioner of Police or Provincial Commissioner of Police. There is simply not that line of reporting.
The line of reporting is directed by the Act. I will report to the national head, and the national head is accountable to the minister. If it is there in Section 17CA of the Police Act, the Chapter 6 that was inserted in the establishment of the Directorate. Thank you, commissioners.
So to be clear, you do not report to the National Commissioner?
I don't.
And the National Commissioner has no jurisdiction over any aspect of your employment?
I report to the national head of the Directorate. I've got no dealings with the National Commissioner. If the National Commissioner maybe needed something from me, he will go via maybe the minister or the national head. The national head will instruct me to do whatever I needed to do, and I will report directly this side. I'll report to the national head, who will in turn talk to the National Commissioner. I don't write to them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners. The DPCI was established on the 20th of February 2009 in terms of Section 17C, subsection 1 of the SAPS Act 68 of 1995, called SAPS Act. The Directorate is comprised of the national head, appointed by the Minister of Police in concurrence with Cabinet, the Deputy National Head, the Provincial Heads, and officers appointed to the Directorate based on the required level of experience, training, skills, competencies, and knowledge. The DPCI is independent operationally from the South African Police Services. I omitted to put operationally there because we still get our salaries and salary advices through them, the mother body. But in terms of the Glenister case, we were supposed to be fully independent, but we are not. We're still going there, but operationally we're independent. The DPCI is independent operational from the SAPS, and it is tasked to prevent, combat, and investigate and the investigation of national priority offenses. Section 17A of the SAPS defines national priority offenses as organized crime, crime that requires national prevention or investigation, or crimes which require specialized skills in the prevention and investigation thereof. This is what is contained in the Act. The national head determines whether a particular crime is a national priority offense for the investigation of the Directorate. His determination as circumscribed by legislation, Section 16, subsection 2 of the Police Act, and the policy guidelines set by the Minister in concurrence with Parliament. Section 16.3 of the SAPS Act provides that in the event of a dispute between the national head of the Directorate and the National Commission of Police or Provincial Commission of Police on whether a criminal conduct or an endeavour thereto falls within the mandate of the Directorate, the determination of the national head shall prevail. The Directorate consists of the following divisions in the province that I'm serving. There is a component called serious organized crime, which is responsible for the investigation of drug trafficking, human trafficking, kidnappings with a ransom, cash in transit, police murders, crimes against the state, to mention a few. The second one is serious commercial crime investigations that talks to addressing banking crimes, government frauds, and counterfeit, just to mention a few. There is a component called serious corruption investigations, which deals with public and private sector corruptions, as well as fraud and corruptions within the JCPS cluster. There is another component that is priority crime specialized investigation, which investigates cyber crimes, financial investigations, as well as asset forfeiture investigations. The next one is the Priority Crime Management Center, which is responsible for analysis of notebook profilings of people who are subjects of investigations, as well as the threat assessments in line with the national priority offences. My role, the last one, Commissioners, is corporate support services. This section is responsible for supply chain management, human resource management, as well as finances in KwaZulu-Natal province. My role as the provincial head. As the provincial head, I am directly accountable to the national head. I have been appointed for a period of 7 years, non-renewable contract. Maybe to add on this, Commissioners, is that I think I'm left with, we're in January now. 1 year and 6 months. Then I'll be warm up the stoop. Thank you, Commissioners.
So June 2027 is when your term ends?
End of July.
July 2027.
2027 is my last month in the service, and I'll be 61 years, 1 month.
Thank you.
Management of specialized investigations and operational support in the province of KZN ensure the effective and efficient management of priority crime and analysis thereof, ensuring the operational support capabilities within the DPCI KZN province are functioning according to the relevant legislations and directives and policies, the management and implementation of strategies from National Head Office to ensure effective prevention, combating and investigation of national priority offences, maintaining effective management information and strategic planning services within the DPCI in the province where I am employed. Providing performance and implementation monitoring and evaluation reports to the national head. Commissioners, I thought I must also share this with you today. Successes, just a little bit of them that myself and my management have managed to achieve through the strategies that we have employed in the province upon my appointment. Throughout, in March this year, I'll be 38 years in the law enforcement. Although there was a break in between when I left the police to the Scorpions, then I came back. Both combined, it's 38 years, 18th of March this year. Throughout my 38 years of service, I held a level of excellence in carrying out my duties. This is particularly evidenced by my achievement in the DPCI KZN under my tenure. I have elected to list this achievement as the allegations against me depict an unscrupulous senior officials when only the opposite holds true.
General, maybe before you proceed, just so that we don't go back to this, because now you're going to be discussing specific cases or crimes. What are the, currently as matters stand, what are the crimes that have been determined as national priorities? Because you mentioned in 18.1 that you are responsible for the effective, efficient, preventing, combating, and investigation of national priority crimes. What are those as matters stand now?
Thank you, Commissioners. You'll see in page 6 of my statement, paragraph 15, I've indicated, just to mention a few, drug trafficking, human trafficking, kidnapping with a ransom, cash in transit haste, police murders, crimes against the state. This falls within the component of serious organized crime, just to mention a few. I must indicate to the commissioners that, you see, the CITs, in around 2018, they were investigated by detective services, where we dealt with a project that was addressing the scourge of this cash in transit. But thereafter, the then acting national head issued a directive in writing to declare the CITs a national priority offense, as it is said, stipulated in the law. Hence, today, the DPCI is investigating these crimes. Over and above that, commissioners, the other crimes is banking crimes, not this normal fraud, but the frauds that are above the value of 500,000, and then there are other elements that are listed in order to qualify. It's not only the value. Sometimes the value might be less, but you find out the way the crime was committed and the public interest and all those other factors. If they fall within that scope, then the DPCI shall investigate. You might find a fraud of 300 million, of 3 million. People will think, because the value is beyond 500, the DPCI must deal with it. It's not only that determines that. So there is a mandate that has been authorized by the retired national head that outline all these type of crimes. If one have forgotten, you go to the mandate, it will assist you. And then there's a government fraud. We talk about the issues of where there is a fraud in terms of this procurement of people. People will come and tender certain things. Sometimes they submit fraudulent documents in order for them to be appointed as a service providers there. You have also counterfeit goods, and then those are one of the serious crimes, according to me, where they have an impact on the economy of the country. For lack of a better word, they say Hong Kong, the street language, but it's counterfeit goods. So the other ones is indeed corruption within the public and the private sector, as well as the JCPS. Over and above this, if in...
As well as the JC what?
JCPS cluster.
I'm terrible with acronyms. What's that?
Justice and Crime Prevention and Security Cluster. Commissioners.
Thank you.
I hope I've responded to the question of my commissioner. Thank you. Thank you very much. The time till to date that I have also submitted as Annexure S2, we managed to seize and successfully stored a cocaine to the street value of 1,649,000,000, and a list of all seizures is charged as hereto as Annexure S2. I think it was the first time in the country, or even in the province, that this amount of cocaine, including heroin, was seized within the space of what I've been dealing with at KwaZulu-Natal. Of note, in November last...
Sorry, Major General, I just... can we go to Annexure S2?
Yes, Commissioners.
And if you could just explain, because I think what you say in your statement now is to focus on just a few. right, in paragraph 21. Is that correct?
I'm listening.
Is that correct?
What did you say?
In paragraph 21, are you just highlighting a few?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And I just want to confirm that these that you're highlighting in paragraph 21 come from Annexure S2.
Correct, Commissioners. As well as Annexure S3.
As well as S3.
Sorry, were we not in paragraph 20? I see 21 deals with S3.
That's what I'm trying to understand, whether the few that are highlighted here are from S2 and S3, or only S2. Are you going to deal with S2, or do you want to just move on to S3?
Commissioners, the few that are mentioned here, as I indicated, it starts from paragraph 20 of my statement, as Commissioner Kumar has indicated, correctly said so, and then it goes further to paragraph 21 with 21.1, 21.2, 21.3, which means it will be S2 as well as S3 in my bundle of documents.
Could we turn to S2?
Come again?
Could you turn to S2?
I am on S2.
Okay, so it says BPCI, KwaZulu-Natal, major heroin and cocaine seizures 2020 to date. I just want to understand who prepared this document and when.
This document, we normally have this type of things. The members will report, we keep a database of certain things. And then for the purpose of this commission, I requested my people to just say, give me this one and this one and this one, and then we confirm with everybody that is dealing with my statistics at the office and say, I want to talk about this and this one and this one. I've selected this one. It's me who selected it.
Okay, so this was prepared for the commission?
For the commission.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Sorry, General, in that paragraph 20, you say the province seized and successfully stored. What does it mean, successfully stored?
Which means I'm saying successfully stored, it means that we were provided with the storage facility of these cocaines by the management, because you'll see at the lecture when I testify in terms of the theft of cocaine, there was a problem, but I'll deal with that when I arrive there. But for now, here on this seizures, we were assisted with the storage facility.
When you say successfully stored, it's not speaking to there were no losses of this.
Yeah, there were
along
no.
the way.
Correct, Commissioner. I think you assisted me. Thank you very much. There were no losses. That is the explanation.
All right. Thank you.
Of this successfully stored. There were no losses.
Thank you.
1,649 million.
And the 1.6 billion is made up of several seizures.
Correct, Commissioner.
Not just one.
Not just one.
All right, thank you.
It is a number of them, and then they are depicted in this S2.
S2.
General, please clarify this annexure S2, because on the first page, there is the DPSI Hawks logo. But then from the second to last pages, on your right, it's a SAPS logo. So I'm wondering, who did the seizures? Is it the SAPS or is it the Hawks? Or are you taking credit for the work of the SAPS? I'm just trying to understand.
Commissioners, when I do my presentations, mostly at the first page, it will talk about us, the DPCI. And then when we continue, we utilize the SAPS page, but it's us, the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation. So you'll see when we come, we'll tell you who we are, and then we continue. Hence, we are saying administratively, for some other reasons, we still decide. But hence, we have utilized this template for the presentation.
I couldn't help but notice on page 28 of the same document, it's SAPS vehicles that are there. So
Page
28 and 30, for example.
Yes. Commissioner, you want me to respond?
Yes.
The DPCI, in terms of section 17, I think I talk under correction F. We are expected to be a multidisciplinary approach. That is the methodology we are approaching. So we don't work in isolation alone when we do our operations. We have other law enforcement like your uniform branch, your combat. We don't have combat. We don't have uniform branch. We don't have crime intelligence. They are within the mother body structures. And then sometimes we also have our external stakeholders. So here, specifically, when you look at this party, there is also border policing that is a national component that we mostly work with at the harbor there in Durban. So those are, and also sometimes you'll find customs being part of the operations because we have employed the multidisciplinary or integrated approach in discharging our duties in order for us to achieve our set objectives.
Thanks. So, Major General, I think we understand that because the capacity comes from different parts of law enforcement in order to conduct operations of this kind. They're not small operations. So it's different components of law enforcement that are involved in the operation, correct?
We invite them. Not that they don't just become involved for the purpose of involving. Sure. We contract them to our operations.
So it's under your command?
Absolutely, as well as the operational methodology of the Directorate.
And so these operations that you've referred to here, including on page 28, are under your watch?
Absolutely true.
Thank you.
Commissioners, can I proceed? Paragraph 21.1 on November last year, we managed to seize counterfeit goods with the brand labels such as Gucci, Nike, and Adidas, worth of 53,572,837 rands at the Green Africa Container Depot there next to the harbor there. In December last year, we also seized illicit cigarettes to the value of 38,758,000 rand in a warehouse there in Pietermaritzburg. That is also part and parcel of KwaZulu-Natal province, and I'm saving that as well. I have offices there. In total, we have confiscated illicit counterfeit goods worth 97,330,000 rand, 837 rands. And then I attach my evidencing report as per Annexure S3. These are but a few of the achievements from 2020, Commissioners. I didn't want to add a lot of things. You shall remember that in July 2021, we have this insurrection in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Also, that operations was under my command. Even the cases are before the High Court as we speak. Those operations were managed and operationalized by my office. And we spent a lot of hours, so I don't want to waste time of the Commission by outlining, all the successes that the DPCI KZN has achieved. I just want to mention this few for the Commission's consumption. I have now I want to talk to the subpoena, preliminary submissions. Commissioners, I have been implicated by Lieutenant General S.D. Khumalo, Witness X and Witness C before this commission. I have, however, only received one Rule 3 notice which reads, the testimony of Lieutenant General Khumalo implicates you in matters under investigations, in particular inter alia. Improper use of your position as head of the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, KwaZulu-Natal, in that you leaked sensitive and or confidential and classified SAPS information or documents or caused same to be leaked to Mr. Vusumuzi Madlanga in a business partner of your son, Tato Senona. 1.2. Improper use of your position as head of the DPCI KZN to unduly benefit Mr. Madlanga and other members and associates of the so-called Big Five cartel. At the outset, I submit that these allegations above are malicious, void of truth, and amount to congestion. I deny having leaked any confidential information or using my position as the provincial head for benefit of Mr. Madlanga or the Big Five cartel. I look forward to providing my testimony to illustrate the aforesaid. Commissioners, I must say, I don't even know what is this thing called Big Five cartel. I only know Big Five in the country. If the commissioners want to allow me to say the Big Five that I know, I'll say it. But for the benefit of doubt and clarity, the Big Five that I know is an elephant, a lion, a buffalo, a rhinoceros, and a leopard. Those are the Big Five I know in the country. But this that is mentioned here, I don't know what are they talking about?
Are you aware of cartels that exist, whether they are drug cartels or CIT or extortion? Are you aware of those kind of cartels?
I know of syndicates that I have addressed in my province that are dealing in drugs. I know that we deal with a lot of groupings, that a group of people that are committing CITs on a regular basis. I know of a group of people that were dealing with the drive-by shooting, of which it was not part and parcel of our mandate, but it was a threat that was emanating in KwaZulu-Natal, that I approached the provincial commissioner with an operational plan in order to address that. He gave a go-ahead, then we stabilized that, and then we withdrew from that and continue with our mandate.
Are those cartels confined to the province, or do they have tentacles that extend beyond the province?
The ones that
about drugs, you're talking about cross-border.
The ones that we have already addressed and we're currently addressing at my province, they are within the province. We don't have others that are moving out of the province. We have not yet identified people there, except in that investigations of the July 2021, where you'll find out there are people that are linked as well from Gauteng, few in Free State, and then some, I think, to some extent, Northwest, if my memory serves me well. But other than that, the syndicates that I have dealt with and that I'm dealing with are limited to the KwaZulu-Natal province.
Thank you.
Just so we are clear, you do know what a cartel is? Because in your response, you only refer to syndicates as if it's something different from a cartel. So I just want to understand from you, you do know what a cartel is?
Thank you, Commissioner. I went and checked. Yeah, now I do know what is a cartel. I think it's a synonym of a syndicate. Thank you, Commissioners.
Is it, though, are the two synonyms?
I believe so, Commissioner. That a cartel might be a synonym of a syndicate. That's my belief. I might be wrong, but I stand to be corrected. That's my understanding, sir.
I thought your seniors who gave evidence before you suggested that there is a difference, but let's leave it there. Thank you.
Normally, this word is utilized outside the borders of the country when we meet with other law enforcement. Here in South Africa, we talk about a syndicate. It's like when you say organized crime. There is a difference of a Z and a S. Here we use S when we say organized crime, but outside they use a Z. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks. Commissioner Chair, perhaps it would help if, Major General, you could just define a syndicate then for us, so we know that what you mean when you talk about syndicates.
A syndicate is more closely to what we call people who are committing organized crime. But according to my understanding, I'm just going to give you a description, not necessarily a definition to that effect. Is two or more people working together committing crime on a continuous basis. The main purpose is to have money and power. That is my description and my understanding of a syndicate. Commissioners.
Thank you.
Question 1, infiltration within the SAPS. Prior to addressing my knowledge of the allegation of criminal syndicate infiltration, corruption, and political interference within the criminal justice system, I deem it prudent to discuss the manner in which the investigations within the DPCI are conducted. Criminal investigations within the DPCI and SAPS by nature rely on secrecy or for effective law enforcement. Confidentiality is indispensable to the operations as it protects the witnesses, undercover police operations, and intelligence. As head of the DPCI KwaZulu-Natal,
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, again, it's just for clarification. When you say criminal investigations rely on confidentiality and secrecy, what would be included in criminal investigations? Would it include I presumably would it include a docket?
Remember, in DPCI, mostly the cases that we deal with, is major case investigation. It might be one docket, but it can take us a year or two to complete. We call most of our cases major case investigations, and also project-driven investigations that are undercover operations. We don't disclose that. It is on a need-to-know basis. But you'll hear, as I'm continuing with my evidence, what the clear answer to what you have asked me now. It will be depicted in my statement, and I will talk to that. Maybe it will give you a clarity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
I'll wait for that. Thanks.
Yeah. As head of the DPCI KZN, I'm privy to criminal investigations that fall under the mandate or directorate. I am rarely privy to the particularities of investigations within other provinces led by my fellow DPCI heads, or investigations by the Greater Service, SAPS body, and or specialized interventions unit such as the PKTT, the Political Killing Task Team, that it will be part and parcel of cost that cost us to be here today, one of the things that cost us to be here. In instances where I do gain knowledge of sensitive information, I think this will answer your question, led by the various heads, I gain the said knowledge through our DPCI National Project Committee Forum. And all the attendees are required to sign the oath of secrecy, even though we possess a top secret security clearance. Commissioners, even at the province, we have a provincial project committee forum that I am chairing on a monthly basis, and there we also sign the oath of secrecy, even though we possess the top secret security clearance. Also, the external stakeholders like your Department of Home Affairs, FIC, NPA, they are required to sign that, and we keep record. The purpose of us doing that is to ensure that people are not going to leak this information. If you find to have done that, you'll have to face the consequences.
And to confirm, you have a top security clearance.
Mine has just expired in September, so it's in the process of being renewed. I've applied. I do have a reference number, can share it with the commissioners if need be, off camera.
Okay, so
it expired September
2025.
Yes.
Thank you.
Commissioners, at the forum, you will find the attendance sometimes of the Deputy National Head and mostly the Divisional Commissioner, National Priority Offences Operations. Component heads, then you will find external stakeholders, if I've indicated, Department of Home Affairs, National Prosecution Authority representative, and financial Intelligence Center representative. You find crime intelligence representative there and DPCI provincial heads. We meet on a quarterly basis to present various project investigations. During these presentations, we are advised to conceal the identities of suspects or any information which may jeopardize the investigations. In that presentation, you won't see the names of the targets. You will just know the facts, what exactly is happening, but you won't see the names of the targets. We further have a DPCI WhatsApp group where we deposit successes of each province by the provincial heads. It's like when we're sharing those successes and backstories of our successes, and detailed information is never shared via this WhatsApp group. Taking the above into consideration, I cannot say that I am privy to any criminal infiltration within the criminal justice system outside of the DPCI KZN. I therefore possesses no knowledge as to the business conducted by the Big Five cartel and the composition of this Big Five cartel. I do know the cases where police officials are corrupted by perpetrators of crime in my province. However, these are individual cases not linked to syndicates. I cannot discuss these cases as most, if not all, are presently under investigations and therefore and before court. So to answer also the concern of the evidence leader, we do have single-facet cases, even though we don't discuss them in an open space. They remain within that component. Question number 2.
General, my concern with your response to this section of the question is you are dealing with sensitive information of investigations led by DPCI. You are not dealing, for example, with sensitive information relating to investigations by subs or various units within the subs, such as GCI Ops, such as, for example, the PKTT. So you're only answering part of the question, not the full question. And that's my concern. So can you just answer the full question?
Commissioner, I think in one of my paragraphs, I want to go to that one. I have indicated I am not privy to investigations by the greater service, I mean the SAPS in its totality. Then I gave an example, I included the PKTT. Even if they do any other task team or whatever, they have currently their own provincial organized crime secretariat where they deal with covert operations. I'm not part of that. I am not privy to those investigations. I was telling the commission here, what is it that General Senona is privy to? But the rest that I'm not talking about, I bear no knowledge of that, Commissioner.
General, sorry, Ms.
Go ahead.
Yes. General, and I'm hoping this is just a clarification question because I know we're still in that territory. You say in paragraph 32, I can, however, positively affirm that there is no cartel infiltration within the DPCI KZN. Now, I imagine cartel infiltrators will not announce themselves. If you've got them already, they're not going to announce themselves that we are here. How are you able to make such a definitive statement?
Thank you, Commissioners. I bear no knowledge of that infiltration. So eventually, nobody, even the crime intelligence in the province, came and presented a threat that suggests to talk about the cartel infiltration of DPCI KZN, as well as our PCMC, Priority Crime Management Center, those that are dealing with the threat assessments that are emanating. That type of a presentation was never presented before me, so that I can come here and say, fully I agree. Then when I'm asked how many, where, how, and so forth, I must be able to respond to that. Here, I'm talking about that I am knowledgeable of.
Yes.
That I'm not knowledgeable, I can't talk about it, which means from where I'm sitting, there's nothing until I'm advised by my colleagues and say, we have picked up this thing that needs to be dealt with, and we shall deal with it.
Yes. Well, isn't then, and that's exactly what I was interrogating or checking with you, isn't then the correct statement to make, or that you should have made, is I am not aware of any infiltrations in the DPCI KZN. It's a completely different statement to saying there is no such, because in your statement you say there is no such.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think is a human error in writing this language, English. Bear with me. I beg your pardon.
I accept that. You don't need to say more about it. I just wanted to be sure that I
think the statement that the Commissioner has corrected me about is the most correct statement.
Thank you. Thank you, General.
Thank you. I'm now going to talk about question 2, the nature of my relationship with Mr. Madlanga. Commissioners, I met Mr. Madlanga around Vusimuzi Madlanga around 2018, 2019, I think, around that year. And when we met, we were in Pretoria. It was a wedding, and for that matter, Commissioner Kumalo, it was my traditional wedding.
It was your own wedding.
No, I'm not sure why you are addressing only me, General, but...
Well, you see...
So did you say that it was your own wedding?
For that matter, it's my traditional wedding. When I'm addressing the commissioners, and one of you is looking at me, my mind directly goes to... It's nothing sinister. I'm just afraid to address the chairperson because it's a justice, I'll make a mistake and I might be in trouble to say, I'm justice sorry, so why are you calling me? But on a lighter note. As far as I can remember, it was at my wedding in Pretoria when then there was we were doing this traditional wedding. After
you say 2018 or
2018,
you don't remember
2019.
when your wedding was?
I think it should be 2019 because I went and double checked to be correct.
You better
Pray,
your wife.
just pray, General. Oh, I wanted to say exactly the same. I wanted to say, just pray that your wife is not listening.
Commissioners, if I'm going to be punished for what I said and then it was wrong, I'll just bend down and then she gave me lunches and then I'll take it. So Mr. Madlanga was introduced to me through a relative of my wife whom she was dating at the time. And then they said he's the owner of CAT VIP Security Services. We exchanged numbers and then I happened to like him. And then that day, we never had to talk too much because it was my traditional wedding and there was a lot of...
The language you use, General, you say, I took a liking to him and we exchanged numbers. Was there any particular reason for you to like him?
Commissioner, in the location where we grew up, when people, they are introduced to you and then they come humble before you, you will like a humble person, which means you will get respect. You won't be undermined or whatever. There are people when they are introduced to you, you find a space that is so fun and then, hello, how are you? But if a person come and say, hey, hello, my brother, we are pillars, those type of things with respect, that thing makes a mark. There is a verse in the Bible, James chapter 4, verse 10. It says, humble yourself and the Lord will lift you up. That's the vision of where I come from. Ha o ikokobetsa, Modimo o tla o phahamisa, le batho ba tla go rata. You don't have to make noise. Just humble yourself.
General, just so that we don't go back and forth, where was this area? You say in Pretoria, was it in a township? And was this the first time you saw Mr. Matlala, or you had seen him before, but you were only formally introduced in 2019?
It was the first time. It was in Mamelodi.
Perhaps for the record, what I said was Sesotho for you like humility.
I didn't hear that, Commissioner.
No, I was translating into English
Oh.
the bit about Rawi Koko.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. So you'll realize that I've never met Mr. Matlala because he's a businessman. My relationship with Mr. Matlala is not because he's running a security company, he's doing this. I am the head of the Hawks. Even there, I never said I'm head of the Hawks. I was introduced as the husband to my wife. And my wife and him happen to share the same surname.
But he may well have been told that you are head of the Hawks. You don't know.
Somebody there, but not
On the
me.
day, yes.
It's no secret.
I can't say those who knows where I'm working, but you'll realize, I want to bring this under your attention, Commissioners, that I have seriously huge successes in my province. I don't like media. I don't sell myself. People, they started to know me too much and my faces because of this commission. A lot of people didn't know who I am or what. Some might know the name, but they can't know the face. That is how I live. I don't like media. You'll realize most of our successes, I'll be standing there. If you know me, you'll see me from behind while the provincial commission is addressing the media. I run away from media because I don't like publicity. That's one of my principles. Thank you, Commissioners.
Sorry, just you said that your wife shares a surname with Mr. Matlala. Are they related?
I don't want to answer that question.
Why not?
No. It's not parcel and parcel of this. I don't want to.
But they share a surname, but you don't want to say whether they're related
They share a
or not.
surname. I don't want to answer that question.
But she knows Mr. Matlala.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners.
General, if I may just ask, I think it's not sufficient for a witness who's asked a question to simply say, I don't want to answer the question. I think you have to say more. For what it's worth, but I think you have to say why you don't want to answer that question.
Commissioner, I hear what you are saying to me. Earlier, one of the commissioners said, hey, I don't know what will your wife said. She also said that. So I don't want to create animosity in my own house by talking about the line of their relatives and so forth. Hence, I also say he was dating a relative of my wife. So this thing of related and what, I beg your pardon. I'm begging for your mercy. I do not want to respond. Allow me not to respond now, but if I'm compelled, I'll request to seek legal advice.
Guess that's fair. If you're compelled, you will deal with it at that point. But I think what has to be understood is witnesses are not free to choose questions that they answer or don't answer without providing an explanation. The question of your explanation is a question of weighing whether it's a good enough explanation. We leave it at that point, or we make a pronouncement about it at some point. But I think the point that I wanted to make is witnesses don't get to pick and choose what questions they answer. You are here to assist the commission. And if you are asked a question that you have concerns about answering, you do have an obligation to say more than I don't want to answer. That's the only point I wanted to make.
Thank you, Commissioners. You see, I will say by virtue of the surnames, I don't think there is a relation there. By virtue of the surnames, I don't think so, because, and then number two, he was dating a family member of my wife. But now, when you look at the issue of the family member, maybe they might have been related through that relationship, but this one of the same name, I don't know.
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Commissioner.
That's fine, General. I asked because you offered that evidence. You are the one who said that he shares the same surname.
Yeah, they share the same name.
That is why I asked that question. But I think, there's a relation, you said. And so that answers the question, and we can move on.
Commissioners, our relationship developed over the years, and I consider him as a friend or younger brother because he's younger than me, Mr. Madlanga. You know, in our culture, once we started to develop a relationship, we don't call each other friends, or what you said, call each other brother. Uputi. So, as can be seen from the WhatsApp chat, Mr. Madlanga and I will regularly check in with each other and would arrange to meet whenever he was in Durban or I in Pretoria. Our meetings were purely that of a social nature. I must make it plain to the Commission that since the beginning of my tenure at DPCI, KZN, Mr. Madlanga has never been a subject of investigation within the Directorate since 2020 when I took up office till today. And Mr. Madlanga, further to that, the name Vusimuzi Ket Madlanga has never been mentioned at the National Management Forum as well as the National Project Committee Forum. Also in my PPC, my Provincial Project Forum. So I also sit in the Provincial Management Forum. Sometimes we'll discuss certain things there in the management. Only generals will sit there with the Provincial Commissioner. If there are things that are giving the Provincial Commissioner a problem, he will mention them there. But that had never happened in my presence. I therefore possessed no knowledge of Mr. Madlanga's alleged criminal ties and or activities. That is my response to this question 2 in relation to our nature of relationship. I want to go to paragraph 37, that goes to WhatsApp exchanges, December 2020 to 2025, January. As stated above, Mr. Madlanga and I were friends and met on a regular basis. I did on occasion meet with Mr. Madlanga to advise him on security matters concerning the CAT VIP security. That is the only business by then I knew that it was vibrant with him. I have further connected him to third parties to assist him that are specializing in risk management to assist him. As a young brother, sometimes we'll say, look into the issues. If this will happen, how are you going to mitigate the risk in order for you to move on with business? These communications are dated 25 December 2024, as well as 28 December and 15 January 2025, concerning a third party I had referred to Mr. Madlanga that conducts this risk assessment. I cannot give further details concerning the finalization and of details of the contract because the assessment of the risk assessment for CAT VIP protection as the contract was between the two people, Mr. Madlanga and a third party. I only assisted by introducing those individuals. When I come to the question 3...
sorry, just to clarify on that point. So your assistance was only to introduce Mr. Madlanga to
a third party.
And you did not participate in any discussions regarding the risk assessment
What I
of
did,
his company?
I advise him, he must, from time to time, do a risk assessment. I'll give you an example. Maybe you understand what is a risk assessment. But once then he developed interest in risk assessment. What do you mean? And then I will explain several things to him. Then I said, there is so and so. I will make sure you meet with him so that he can assist you with this. And then if you are happy, you can continue with that type of a contract with that person, if I can answer your question.
Okay, so I just want to, what I'm asking is, you introduced him to a third party.
Yes.
How did you do that? Were you at a meeting?
No.
How did you do it?
When he agreed to meet, I did call that gentleman, unfortunately, and then I called Mr. Matlala, and then I said, this is the guy who will see you. When can he come and where? And then he said he can come to the offices. And then I told that one, I said, this is the number of Mr. Matlala. I gave it to him, and then I said, continue. Then when I was in KZN, they did it here in Pretoria.
Thank you.
Question 3, forwarding of the disbandment letter to Mr. Matlala. As it is known by the Commission that the letter has been leaked as of 1st of January 2025, I merely forwarded the letter to Mr. Matlala as it was garnering the attention of many, including myself, on social media.
General, Ms. Hassim, I know you said no probing questions, but perhaps what I want to ask may, in a sense, cross the line, but I just feel I must ask the questions at this stage. General, to your knowledge, was the disbandment of the PKTT a subject of interest to Mr. Matlala?
We were just sharing information that was on social media, and
Can you please just answer the question directly? Was this a subject of interest to Mr. Matlala?
I do not know if it was a subject of interest to him, Commissioner.
So did you forward the letter to him of your own accord, or had he asked for it?
It was on my own accord, Commissioner.
Of your own accord. And if you were not aware that this was a subject of interest to him, why would you have done so?
I was not aware, but we are sharing things that are on social media that are garnering the attention of many. It garnered my attention, and we just share. I just forwarded it to him, and then after I forwarded him, I just left it there. We never had to discuss a lot of things here. And then because we were sharing issues that are on the social media.
And how many friends do you have? Are you able to tell? I know it's a difficult question.
How many?
How many friends do you have? I know it's a difficult question. You may say 15 or above 15 or whatever.
It's a difficult question, as the Commissioner has said. I don't know how to answer that.
But quite a large number.
Come again?
But quite a large number.
It can be. I doubt.
You have very few friends.
Come again?
You have very few friends.
Yeah, not too much. And then colleagues is not my friends. I have colleagues, then I have friends.
And did you forward this to any of your other friends?
I believe I might have. I believe I might have, because I might have not sent it only to him. I think I might have also talked to my colleagues about this.
No, sharing, not talking.
Or sharing.
Did you share?
I believe I might have, Commissioners.
You don't know for a fact that you did?
No, I believe I might have. There's no way that if I shared it with him, there must be 2 or 3, 4 people that I sent to. I believe I might have.
Friends.
Friends.
Who also had no interest in the disbandment of the PKTT.
Of course, yes, Commissioner.
And if you go back to your records, do you assure me that you'll be able to show me or show this commission the other people that you shared the disbandment letter with, the other friends that you shared the disbandment letter with. Say tomorrow, if by tomorrow I say, please show us the other friends that you shared the disbandment letter with, friends that had no interest in the disbandment of the PKTT. Would you be able to do that?
Hence, I said I
By
believe.
tomorrow. By tomorrow.
Hence, I said I believe, commissioners, because the phone that I was utilizing by then got damaged, and then I could be utilized again. And now I had to get another instrument.
So you would not be able to show us.
I checked on this one. I asked people to check for me because some of these things they sit there on the iCloud, but even the one to show me that I've sent it to him, I can't find that one. I only relied on what was sent to me by the commission.
One last question or comment. Would you agree if I suggest to you that it is very strange that you would have shared with Mr. Madlanga a letter disbanding the PKTT if you did not know him to have any interest in the subject of the PKTT? Would you agree with me that that's very strange?
I do not agree, Commissioner, because I was not aware he's the subject of investigation by the PKTT or any other unit within the South African Police.
Exactly my point. Exactly because you did not know that, so you randomly share the disbandment letter with him.
As I'm saying, is this an unfortunate that they found it in his own gadget, and when they found it from his gadget, unfortunately, when I received the documents from the commission, I tried to recuperate, to try and get the information to see is him and who. But unfortunately, I couldn't get that. But I disagree with that. I sent it to him because there was knowledge of me knowing that he is being investigated. I didn't know, commissioners.
I said nothing about him being investigated. I've not said anything. I'm just focusing on you not knowing him to have an interest in the PKTT, and you randomly send or forward to him the disbandment letter. I've not said anything about an investigation.
Commissioners, when sometimes you send things to your contacts and everything, it's not the issue of we do have an interest in this thing. We just share randomly just to talk about things, current affairs, that, hey, this is what. But the issue of that I send it with ulterior motives, no.
But I don't for once hear you say, and you then discussed it as a matter that's out there, as a current affairs matter, as it were. I do not hear to say that at all. You just forwarded.
Commissioner, you will see.
Nor do I understand that he responded to you forwarding this to him, and responded in the sense of it being a social or a current affairs matter. I don't see that anywhere.
Commissioner, as we move on with this so-called screenshot messages, you will see that there will be some things that we have exchanged, but without talking thereafter, or even before. It is not a new thing that specifically for this one, we never said and discussed certain things. There are at some stages where we will talk, at some stages we won't talk.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, General.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry,
Mayor, before you proceed, maybe just to clarify, before you forwarded Mr. Matala this letter, this disbandment letter, had you, before that day, had you shared with him and forwarded to him anything else to do with SEP's business or SEP's affairs?
Thank you, Commissioner. I can't recollect now before, but maybe as I've indicated earlier that I had a problem with my gadget. It was going to help me a lot to recollect, because when you do things with your friends or family and everything, it is difficult to keep track record exactly. Now it is an unfortunate situation. I'm sitting here, given these documents by the commission, presented by the witnesses, and then I'm trying to recollect all these kind of things. And then wherever I remember, I will respond. Wherever I'm struggling to remember, I'm just afraid to come and say, I assume, or it is my opinion, 1, 2, 3, because I want to assist the commission to give only facts, not assumptions or speculations. I want to assist the commission. I didn't come here to speculate or assume or think this is. I came here to come and give facts that are to my knowledge. That are not to my knowledge, I won't be able to provide. But it is an unfortunate situation. I wanted to go through my gadget and get that, but unfortunately.
So is the short answer to my question that you don't recall whether you shared with him any information that relates to the SAPS before this letter?
Yes, I don't have a recollection of that,
Okay.
Commissioner.
Thank you.
Sorry, Advocate Hassan. Generally, you say in paragraph 34, we're still on page 13, you considered him to be a friend/brother. You're talking about Mr. Madlanga. Next paragraph, you say, I would regularly check in with each other and we would arrange to meet whenever he was in Pretoria. I was in Pretoria or Durban, whatever, and our meetings were purely social. So during this social discussion, so when you were checking with him regularly, did he tell you that there was a raid at his house on the 6th of December, 2024?
He did inform me there, I think in March, around there, if I recall.
March of what?
2025, if I recall, when we were talking.
Yes.
But in our discussion, he never informed me who are these police.
No, I did not ask about.
I'm just
who.
giving
Yes.
a further explanation to your question, Commissioner.
And in these regular checkups, did he tell you that there was a raid at CAT Security Services where his weapons were seized in mid to late December 2024?
You did tell me that there was this thing, and then the police came to do inspection of firearms, the compliance. Then I said, if they're doing the compliance, so what? Allow them to do their job.
And when did he tell you that?
I am not 100% sure, but he did tell me, Commissioner.
See, it goes to Chair's question. For what good reason would you share with Mr. Madlanga the disbandment of a political killings task team? What does Mr. Madlanga have to do with the political killings task team based in KwaZulu-Natal when he's a security operator in Pretoria or Johannesburg? Why would he be interested in a political killing task team and its disbandment?
Look, I already indicated, Commissioner, that it was a garnering thing in the public domain. We just share it for the purpose of sharing it. I wouldn't want to create answers that are not there for the Commission. I want to give the Commission what I know.
Thank you, General. Let's take the tea adjournment and